Hi, it's Chris again with Forex Therapy, where the Forex market meets philanthropy. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, and wanted to share with you exciting movement in the Forex market. Since about 6 a.m., I wanted to show that I woke up about 6 a.m. this morning, and the market looked like this. Um, Without all the yellow and green and blue lines, of course, just the red and green candles. So this was the trend I saw emerging. Uh, it, I could draw a trend line with great confidence. Here is our point number one, number two, and number three. That had happened before I woke up. And this is what the market looked like at the time. I had thought that it would push down one more time to this level here and double bottom to tell me that this trend had stopped. It pulled back and then tried to go down. It didn't completely. That's still a trend reversal clue. I like to have a more definitive stop here, but nonetheless, I was prepared to make a trade order, which I did with a yellow line here at 109. And sure enough, it broke out in the fourth approach. To remind, we have 1, 2, 3, and a breakout on 4. It broke out, and over the next 4.5 hours, this line right here, 10:30 in my time zone, it hit the profit target spot on. I had predicted that it would, when it broke out here, we would move in this direction about 35 pips, which also equates to $350, and would hit this previous level of resistance, the ceiling, if you will. And when one is patient, it did exactly that. So that's exciting. In the meantime, we will zoom in to the 1-minute chart. You can see we have a little breakout happening already. All right, so here's the profit that we took this morning, 10:30. On its way up, you can see there was a little guy right here. I didn't measure that. Um, you never know. This could have been a double top here and here. So that can be risky to trade these. But since it was a continuation move upward, um, undoubtedly it did break out and go up as we expected. But we had this nice pullback in a breakout, and another pullback and a breakout, and then finally it topped out at 935. Let's look at this pullback real quick here. We can do this correctly. All right, this is a real picture perfect example of this trade strategy. You had the end of this push with a double top. Clearly it's stalled here. And that was a clue that this trend was going to pull back, in which it did. So what you're looking for then is another 1, 2, 3, just like we saw in the larger trade opportunity. Uh, there's the 1 here, there's a 2 there, and possibly the 3 is right on top of the breakout, which can happen. We had a nice double bottom here. So the first clue was this trend bottomed out. And within literally 3 minutes, because there's a candle here, 2, 3, within 3 to 4 minutes, this had broken out. So being nimble and on top of the trade is critical if you're going to trade in this micro moment of 1-minute charts, which of course you can because you can make profit. It broke out, pulled back and retested the trend line. It stomped right here, didn't go below, didn't remain below. It stayed above, touched it, and continued onward, where this level, previous level, I would have set as my profit target. Okay, that's only about 9 or 10 pips, but that's 90 to $100, depending on the size of your account. That's not bad when you're heading on to larger profit, in which we had yet another nice pullback, Hard to say where the 2 and 3 was. Here's the 1, 2 was there, 3 was there, and the breakout. Pulled back, it didn't completely touch the trend line, which sometimes happens. It pulled back enough to say, we're done, and we're going to continue onward. So here it was a nice touch of the previous retest of the trend line. Here it almost did. Both are legitimate. Didn't get a double bottom here at all like you did over here. So that can be frustrating. But I just want you to see that these patterns are fairly the same in terms of the trend ending and rebounding, but they look a little bit different. So you have to kind of keep your eyes open and really look to the breakout of the line. I mean, this was hugging the line all the way down until it broke out. And there's your clue. So this yellow line here would have been my entry, safe enough above this trend line. It broke out. Yes, it pulled back, but then it continued on all the way up to, it actually went past 935, which is fine. I err on the conservative side because I don't want to miss the profit opportunity. So actually, in fairness, this, you can't see it now. This wick, this very tall wick, broke through that price level, and that's where I got my profit. Yes, it went on a few more pips. Who cares? I'd already had 35 pips. That's good enough for me. And then I decided, okay, that's enough for the morning. I'll go take lunch. While I was at lunch, who knew this thing was gonna, oh yeah, well, there's a missed opportunity. No matter. Pulled back, broke out through another trend line, which I was keeping an eye on. I thought it would rebound a bit, pull up a bit before breaking out, but it's just decided to keep on going. I'm not going to jump in because it's already in motion. And there's an expression called catching a falling knife. It may sound like a great idea if you're wearing gloves and not afraid of getting cut. But if I were to jump in here, expecting this to continue on downward, and what if it pulled back as soon as I caught it? That's the analogy about the knife. You can figure it out from there. So, yay, that would have been a nice entry here on down to, I would say, about 18 pips. What I would anticipate, because now look what's happening right now. It's at this level, which is a previous low. So now we're at a mutual level of support. It wouldn't surprise me if now that it has hit this level, it may bounce. It may bounce back. It may retest this trend line. It may pull back and touch it. And that would be good. Why? Because then this entry at 918 is still valid. If it pulls back above it, I can activate this order as it comes right back down, assuming it wants to do that. It just seems like it just wants to keep going, going, going. So that's the only way I would trade this right this moment. I could have set this order when I went to lunch, which seemed legitimate because we've got a nice trend line here and it did break through. I just didn't expect the market to move that quickly. Word to the wise, the market moves quickly. And so we should keep our eyes open. It looks like it's still respecting that previous level of support. The wick went lower, but it's still, the candle itself, the thicker part, is holding to that dotted line I'm pointing to. So I'm going to keep an eye open for this after this video, and hopefully it'll pull back up enough or I can get back in. And then when I do, it'll just go right on back down. So that is potentially, what is the math on that? 45, 47 pips profit. No, it's more than that. No, we're talking about 553 pips total. I can't count. That'd be over $500 profit for one day. One day's worth of work. It's certainly work I enjoy. At any rate, that is it for today, and I hope this is valuable. And as always, please like the video. Also subscribe so you can be sure to get these each and every day, because we're making money each and every day, and I think that's a good thing. All right, until tomorrow, be well and happy trading.